Hey there, how are you today? My name is Dana Tamara. You've landed on Astrocast. This is the full moon report for our beautiful first full moon of 2023. So I just want to put this out there that I recorded this once on Sunday, have it all ready to go, and I can't find it. So I'm re-recording it. But this would be the nature of Mercury in retrograde. So not sure if any of this is happening to you right now, whether it's technical difficulties or even issues with communicating, right? Like not just typing or texting or writing, but I mean, even really coming up with the proper words of what you want to say and how you want to say it. That's Mercury retrograde. The other thing that's happening, and this is important, is Mars is still in retrograde. So Mars in retrograde tends to instigate triggering issues for us, not to be a bully, but to actually support us in recognizing when we're being triggered and to try to get us to pause before we react so that we learn the lesson and potentially don't do it anymore. So again, I don't know if any of this is happening for you, but to have this energy come right at the beginning of a new calendar year, right? And right before a sensitive full moon in Cancer, well, it's kind of a big deal. And I talked a little bit about this in the weekly forecast when I said, just because it's the new calendar year, it doesn't mean that we need to go galloping into our new year. In fact, it would be really beneficial for us if we could just pause a little bit, spend this week purging out old tangible items, but also old thoughts, belief systems that we just don't really resonate with anymore. So this is really powerful energy to have right before a full moon, and I want you to use it wisely. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you like I do. Okay. And let it be duly noted, let the record show that I tried feverishly to find my recording, laughing the entire time, going, of course you deleted it before you used it, Dana Damara. Anyway, so here's the full moon. We have the sun right across from the moon, 16 degrees. 6 + 1 is 7, you guys. 7 is change. This is a year of change. This year we have a ton of the lunar nodes change signs, Jupiter change signs, Pluto changes signs, and I believe North Node moves into Taurus, not Chiron, unfortunately. But we have these big shifts this whole entire year coming up. And I was going to do a whole year recording, but I'm just not. I like to look at the broader perspective for a second and then come back into the now. So here we are in the now. We have 3 planets in Capricorn: Pluto, Mercury, and the sun, and then we've got the moon in Cancer. Again, at 16 degrees, the full moon happens at 3:09 p.m. on Friday. So anytime we have a full moon, it's just a powerful time to release, to let go, to celebrate. It's usually it's just an intense period, and intense doesn't have to be bad, but it is intense. But with this full moon in Cancer, remember Cancer is the crab. And so Cancer is that soft inner being, that inner beautiful, soft, sensitive being. And then with this outer shell. So that's really a big theme with this, is the things that potentially you've been sitting with, not paying attention to, holding in, are asking to be purged, looked at, and let go of with this new year, with this new calendar year. And I mentioned Mars and Mercury in retrograde, and it's worth it to mention it again and again. It really is the energy is really asking us to just be still, be in the present moment, and really let go of the things that keep us busy and distracted from what we really want. I wrote about this in the little caption. We're being asked at the end of the day, what is it that you really want? Because we're also moving into this age of Aquarius, right? So Pluto is moving out of Capricorn this year into Aquarius, and that's a big airy sign. It's way quicker moving than Capricorn, the goat. And so think in terms of, getting rid of the density around your in your body, the density in your mind. So those ruminating thoughts that really don't support anything but repetitive behavior. And then also density around the heart, and maybe even in your spiritual energetic body. So let this full moon, and coupled with the Mercury and Mars retrograde, let it kind of have its way with you, and allow it to shift your perspective into something. This is a huge year of big changes. I'm going to share my screen one more time here. Okay, so I think one of the things that we all can just to agree upon is that we absolutely have no control. So I think one of the most beautiful things we can all begin to let go of is this idea that we have control over anything at all. This energy is asking us to move slowly from our hearts with a sensitive way of being. Vulnerability is a great word for this full moon. And it's the reason why we want to release density again, not only because we're moving into the Aquarian age, but I mean, my goodness, aren't you healthier without carrying around backpacks of stuff that really don't serve you, right? The other thing I want to say is that, let's see, best thing with the new moon, where are we? So here's Chiron. Chiron is here in the sign of Aries, and Chiron is trining the moon and sextiling the sun. Now, when the sun moon makes, I'm sorry, I meant to say Uranus is doing that. Chiron is actually squaring the sun and the moon, and Chiron's up here. I got so excited. And so if you were to draw a line from Chiron to the sun and Chiron to the moon, you would see it's creating this square. Now, Chiron is the radical healer. And so when Chiron squares a full moon like this, it really is a opportunity for quantum and potent healing. So don't waste it. Really pay attention to maybe some of the habits that you've created, or maybe some of the things that you're harboring, resentment, lack of forgiveness, I don't know, whatever gets in the way of your healing. A big one, I think, for a lot of people is the need to be right, instead of just wanting peace, right? So that's a big one for this full moon. The other thing is a full moon is sextile and trine to Uranus and the North Node, really. That's sitting right here. And so Uranus is all about inspiration and divine guidance and liberation. It's the higher mind, and it wants change. And so this is, I mentioned this in the beginning, this is about rapid movement. This is about big shifts that could just happen for you that would completely change the trajectory of your life. And this isn't something to be feared. This is something to be excited about. Now, if you're in fear or you're in lack, of course you're going to be like, oh my God, what's going to happen? This is scary. But go back to the idea that you have no control, and that maybe some positive outcome, something beautiful is coming up for you that you couldn't have imagined for yourself, right? I know it sounds funny, but it's really just a beautiful time to let go of just the things that you've been carrying for too long. Venus is also trining Mars. This creates, well, a couple of things. One, it can create some passionate energy, but it can also create some aggression, assertiveness. So again, just take breaths before you speak, and allow yourself to pause before you react. It's a big one. And let me just say this, and I've mentioned this a lot in class, but it's worth mentioning to you here, and this is really important. So Mercury and Mars will both be out of retrograde by the 18th of this month, okay? But then the new moon happens on the 21st, which is, I believe it's the same day or the day before Chinese New Year, okay? I think of it as the same day because it's so dang close. It's like whatever, same day, new moon. So I'm trying to take on this what's the word? This realization that that's actually a powerful time to set your intentions for the new year, because all the planets will be moving forward. Clarity will have hopefully come, some kind of healing potentially will be opened up for you, and this full moon is really just wanting you to feel nourished and sensitive. So don't think that because it's the new year you got to like barrel on out there and get some stuff done. Actually use your intuition to notice what's coming up for you. Watch and observe yourself in triggering situations, because I'm telling you, it's a time the universe, God, spirit, source, divine, goddess, whatever you want to call that higher power, wants us all to be kind of clear of as much of our old stuff that we don't need. And then just allow yourself to sit, and feel all the feels. It's a beautiful full moon to purge out 2022. And again, don't go rushing into anything, just chill. Those of you who live here in Encinitas and in the surrounding areas, I'm hosting our monthly moon circle at the Dome in Escondido. It is Friday night, and we do breath work and sound healing. It usually ends up being about an hour and a half session, somewhere around there, and space is limited. So if you want to come, just go to my website at dinadamara.com. And if you just go to public sessions, you'll see it. It's underneath sound baths. The link might even be in the caption here. And then those of you who aren't in the area, my invitation to you is to find somewhere that you can just be still on the full moon. I mean, normally I say, big celebration, sometimes we'll have 50 plus people at a sound healing. But this is a good one to find either like a intimate group where you can do some breath work or some sound healing, some journaling. What are you letting go of? What do you really want out of this year? And what is like your main purpose, right? There's just so much still percolating, and with these retrogrades, just be still. All right, if you want your chart read, you can reach out to me at dana@danadamara.com. And if you aren't on my website yet and you just want more information about astrology in general, go to myastrocast.com. So grateful to you that you continue to listen in on these. I love doing them. It keeps me more aligned. So thank you so much. Have such a beautiful day. Namaste.